You know, what all living things, from humans to animals, what we all share is a root and seated desire to live. You know, everybody on a daily basis is fighting and struggling to survive and live. You have people that are into transhumanism, for example. They want to somehow figure out a way to escape death. If they can somehow, transplant their mind into another body or something, just so they can continue to live and they don't have to face death. And even people who are poor or struggling, who are disabled physically, or little children, everybody wants to live. Everybody's got that desire to live. To old people who are, approaching the last days of their lives, they all have that inner desire to live. They wouldn't want anybody to just, come and put them out of their misery, or end their life. They still want to live, as bad as things might look or be. So one of the most evil things you can do is actually end somebody's life, especially for your own good or your own benefit. Just one of the things to think about is just to kind of step back from all of your excuses and all your arguments, is to kind of step back and say, ask yourself, at what level of dependency does a human or a living thing have the right to live? For example, in regards to abortion, for example, there's the baby is dependent on its mother. At what stage of dependency is it okay to end a life? So for example, she was raped. So we're gonna now punish, another life, a completely different life, for the crime of the father. If a crime was done, the rapist should be found, executed publicly, or at least castrated. But why would you punish a separate life that's also has that same desire to live, and you would punish a different life, for the crime of somebody else? That it's just a very evil thing you could do, is actually, for your own benefit or your own good, end somebody else's life. And, there's just no nicer way of saying it. That it's just plain evil, because we are all here on this earth. We are all trying to survive, and no matter how bad your situation is, everybody's got the inner desire to live, and everybody knows that there's something wrong with death. It's not supposed to be like this. So this is just something to think about, just put all your reasoning aside, to justify the murder of another life, and just see, just ask yourself, is it right to end another life that also has the desire to live, just like I do? At what stage of dependency, from the very conception, of a baby being 100% dependent on its mother, to being born being outside the moon and still being dependent on its mother or somebody to feed it and clean it and love it, to you growing up and being dependent, still being dependent on the environment, your surroundings, the people you associate with. You're dependent on food, you're dependent on oxygen, so you can argue then that, that Mother Earth, we should save her and abort all of us, to the stage of when you're old and you don't have the strength to take care of yourself, you're dependent on somebody else to take care of you, but the desire to live always stays. So, just something to think about. Just everybody deep inside knows that, taking the life of somebody else, especially the innocent, is very wrong. It's just no nicer way of saying it.